Welcome to Better Preparedness. On today's episode, I'm here on a lake property in Canada, just north of Ottawa. And what it's bringing back to me is a memory I have of cutting this tree down. Years ago, about 12 years ago, and this is a story about when things go horribly wrong. And horribly, fortunately, it's not a question of life or death, but it was a pretty serious medical scenario. And I want to talk to you about, what that's like when you have to go through that, and then thinking about how you could have prevented it in the first place or dealt with it better in the second place. Well, years ago, I was up here and I was doing some maintenance on this land and cutting down some trees that were in the way and various things. This tree in particular, I decided it was time to take it down because it was blocking the view from up above here. And I was using an axe. And cutting this tree, I was taking away, bit by bit with the axe, which is what it's supposed to do. But eventually, as it kind of got curved, what happened was on one swing, the axe head didn't catch the tree. It kind of deflected, it ricocheted, and it went from hitting the tree. It got ricocheted and hit straight into my shin. And I can tell you that hurt. And of course, I was wearing sandals and shorts, neither of which were a great idea. And I cut open my shin quite seriously, probably about a 7 or 8 centimeter gash, about 3 inches, I guess. And split it open, and just shooting pain. Now, I was about 200 meters from my car and an hour north of the city of Ottawa. What happened is I limped back to where most of my gear was, grabbed the essentials like my wallet and various things, and I managed to hobble back to the car, about 200 meters away. And there I went for my trusted first aid kit, which turned out to be insufficient in terms of having kind of a steri strip or a strip for closing the wound. Ever since, I have equipped all of my first aid kits with a steri strip or insert your other name brand here. And because that allows you to close the wound like you would do with stitches. And you can close the wound and hopefully even get that sealed, but if not, at least get it closed so you can get to a hospital and get proper stitches done. All this to say that I ended up losing an extensive amount of blood and getting to the car and finding out I didn't actually have strips in that first aid kit. I thought I did. I ended up having to use Band-Aids to close the wound as much as possible. But that was also my driving foot, the accelerator foot. So every time I accelerated for the hour to get back into the city, I was losing even more blood. And by the time I actually got into the city, I was so faint, I could barely walk, and I pretty much almost blacked out in the emergency section of the hospital. But there's two things that I could have done massively better. One was be much better equipped, having steel-toe boots and leg protection in that scenario. Better use of the axe would have been also quite good. I think I had eye protection because of eyeglass, of wood chips. But that could have probably helped me prevent it. Also better cutting of this tree. The tricky thing was I was trying to cut it to fall it that way, and so I had this very difficult rock face here in front of me. But all this to say, then I could have had my first aid kit prepared for that type of gash, and pretty much ever since, one of the first things I do to augment my first aid kits is I add in steri strips or another brand, whatever I can find. But this tree taught me a seriously good lesson about wood safety and cutting trees and safely doing that, because it can go really wrong. And imagine if this had been a chainsaw incident gone wrong and kickback or whatever it is with the chainsaw. That could have been serious. Well, all this to say, be safe. You can enjoy your experiences, but be prepared for what you might encounter and try to prevent what you can and prepare for what can happen. Because had I just prevented this from happening, I would have been, without a massive scar in my shin. I don't know if you can see it here. This is all that's left. It's about 15 years old or 12 years old. It used to be about that long. So prevent it and make sure at least you can deal with it. So thanks for watching Better Preparedness. In the comment section below, I'd like to hear about your experiences. What are the types of things that you kind of wish you'd prevented? You knew it ahead of time it could happen. You wish you'd prevented, or ones where you wish you could have reacted better and resolved it more easily or better. Okay, thanks a lot. Put those things in the comment section below. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, and thanks for watching Better Preparedness. And as a parting shot, enjoy some amazing lake footage.